Last year, we started Attention for Ascension, and we walked 312 miles from Gary, Indiana to Cleveland, Ohio. This year, we're doing the reverse. We'll walk from Cleveland to Gary to help try to reach and raise some more funds to support the scholars at Ascension. At Walk312.com, you will be able to follow the entire journey. We'll be streaming. You can follow, donate, and purchase merchandise. Let's begin.
Well, good morning.
Good
How
morning.
are you guys doing?
Doing well. Day 12. Day 12.
Day 12.
Yes. So it is day 12. It is the last day of our journey to ALCS. We are under 11 miles away. So looking forward to those of you who will be able to join us at 1 when we arrive at Ascension. We'll have some time of celebrating this moment. But in doing so, I hope today you get an opportunity to spend some time with Luke 17:10. And in Luke 17:10, we hear these words, and after you have done all that has been commanded of you, we should say, we are unworthy servants. We have only done our duty. Beloved, do we embrace that in this life, God is inviting us to experience some pretty amazing things? He has uniquely gifted each and every one of us to be a blessing to others, to advance his kingdom. But this is work that Christ has prepared for us in advance. This is what we get to live out as a humble thank you for everything Christ has done for us in his death, burial, resurrection, and ascension. And so I pray that as you go throughout the day, you understand that God has designed the day for you to execute what he has already placed inside of you. And will you just be sensitive enough to understand that you are very talented, that you are very gifted, and that what God is asking you to do is put that on display for his glory, for the advancement of the kingdom, so that somebody else may be able to tap into your journey and realize that God wants to use them as well in that same kind of profound way. This is our joy as children of God, that God has gifted us to do whatever he has gifted you to do for his glory, so that we can boast in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, that it is by his grace, that it is by his mercy, that we live, move, and have our being. And so I pray today you get to spend some time recognizing the power and the beauty of this verse, that God has gifted you in such a way that you understand that it is your response because of the cross to go be the best version of yourself. God's blessings to you. And so we are very close to the home of ALCS, and we are very close to that opportunity to celebrate. We do have our winner who guessed last night's dinner. Last night's dinner was barbecue. Uh, and so we do have our winner, and they will select their item. I want to thank all of you for making the reality of our donor of $2,500, dollar for dollar, turning that into $5,000. That what a blessing for the scholars and staff at ALCS. So thank you for making that happen. Truly appreciate it. And unfortunately, I have not gotten any updates. So I might take that to mean Skippy might be back in the lead, because I have not heard anything. So I don't know to thank you yet or continue to beg.
You should continue to beg.
What? Can you believe this? What? On day 12, Skippy is not doing well? Oh my goodness, this is terrible. This is a terrible thing.
We are still at the same point in the race. There's $22 separating.
Wow. Wow.
We might have to grab a couple of buckets and just see what happens at the celebration today. We'll
I'm
give you
just
another
saying.
chance.
Right, right. But yes, so that is day 12. Um, Still making our way. Are there any questions this morning as we are on Studio Route 6 closing out this year's 312-mile journey?
We do have Debbie Laverso on saying, "Good morning, Pastor. Looking forward to walking with you later this morning. Hoping the rain holds off until after 1 p.m."
Yes, yes. Looking forward to having you join the walk at so we are going to meet up and be walking back to ALCS. So very excited about that. And just so that you all know, um, I'm going to give Debbie Laverso a new nickname. So you all will get a chance to meet her later. Debbie Laverso will earn the nickname of the Skippy Supplier. As the emergency jar is almost at halfway.
You can always count on Debbie.
Yes, yes, yes,
All right,
yes.
so I'm curious, what shoes are the final shoes?
For the final shoe, we went with, let me see, can you see the yellow? That is what we went with for the final shoe for today. They were next up in the rotation.
I mean, I'm just saying, for somebody who's colorblind, you do a really good job of matching the whole outfit there.
um, Really, this is just by rotation. There is no real rhyme or reason. As I shared, the entire journey is one of focus and discipline, and just embracing the day as it is, um, embracing the decisions that have been made for that day, and trusting the preparation, and just sitting with that, and being okay with that for the day's journey.
So, how are you feeling today? Ready to be done? A little bit sad that it's over?
No, really more so humbled. Right around the probably 10 to 9 mile mark away is where we stopped for lunch last year. And it wasn't until this year that I realized how hard I had been spiritually punched in the mouth last year, because I felt, I just remember sitting down, having lunch there, and just felt like I was an eternity away from home. At that point, you were really asking yourself, are we really doing this? Um, and then this year, realizing how close to home I really was, and prepare for that, and just trust God. And so, just those different emotions, just remembering and reflecting on how spiritually immature I was at that point versus now having done it, and watching God, and just really tapping into all of his blessings and his endurance and his strength and his perseverance just gives you an entirely different perspective. What I was whining about just internally being that far away, and really we got more of this to do even though we had been training. Um, Now on the back end of this, realizing that I don't even view that as a long distance, and just what God was able to do just between last year and this year, and just the growth and the perspective. And so just really realizing that God had placed this inside for his glory and for his purpose, had absolutely nothing to do with me. And so just being obedient to what God had placed inside me. Um, Again, an unworthy servant, knowing that God had prepared me and given me the season of preparation and given me the trainer and Brian to focus on things that I would have never even thought about focusing on. Just ankle strength, the smaller muscles and stretching in those exercises, and just watching that prepare me, watching God use him to prepare me for this journey. Then and even in the midst of that, still questioning whether or not this was for real. And now on the back end of this, the second go round, just the humility to understand that God is doing a work, not us. And so, how do you remove yourself and just celebrate all of the many intricate things that God is doing? I mean, even watching Mike and Terry after last year, preparing already for this year, um, and just watching even their dedication and care to the process. Um, Watching Lisa get all of that stuff together, having Yvonne come to Cleveland twice and having that set up. All of those things are what I begin to reflect on, and how God is intricately using every little aspect of it. This year, being able to have help for Lisa, and having Hannah and Ali jump on, and having Nick behind the scenes as technical support. Emmanuel just being as awesome as Emmanuel is, and providing the opportunity for this time to even take place, to watch Rebecca and her team put together the closing finish, and watching all of the staff and scholars at Ascension, and the board at Ascension, and just the number of people who have jumped on and followed and had comments, and just being touched by the walk, having people just say, "How can I help? How are you?" People offering you stuff. You begin to see that God is asking you to just be his servant. This is so awesome. And to even have Debbie Brandenburg step up and want to do the press and reach out and make sure that people can know about the walk. Um, just having that team together, and just watching even my cousin Jason in Cleveland reaching out and making sure that people in Cleveland knew. Watching my wife's high school, my friend Rob and Richie from my high school and growing up. Just you begin to watch the different people having um, the the I was gonna say friends, but they are family that I grew up with in Cleveland, showing up at service. It just, watching my wife just take on things that I normally do to hold the family down. You begin to see how God is moving when you are obedient. Um, you just even you don't even, I like right now, I feel terrible even mentioning names, because you know that there are more people that have been touched and moved, and you don't want their part of this journey to be overlooked. And so just really watching when you submit to what God is asking you to do, how he surrounds you with the daily bread necessary to take the journey. So just, excuse me, watching how stubborn I am as a child of God, and how much I complain about the little things that God asks us to do, when he does so much, and so delicately and intricately every little detail, that he just steps in and shows up and reassures each and every way. Um, and so again, so that's what I'm feeling this year. Just really blown away about the awesomeness of God. It is just something to behold when you really deny yourself and allow God to work. And as I have shared with you all before, I am somebody who loves to journal my relationship with God, date and time. What am I praying about? Who am I praying for? What are they? And very specific, and submitting those requests, and just really watching the spiritual journey as to how God works to answer those prayers, and establishing that rhythm and pattern, and understanding that, as we talked about in the parable of the talent, he has given us all a talent. Do we use it or do we bury it? And if we are using it, just tracking how God is moving and speaking and showing up in people. I mean, even having Lisa's mother to show up and be a part of the team, and wanting to help making sure that the t-shirts got where they were supposed to get. I mean, it all becomes just a very delicate and powerful move that you understand that clearly God's hand is in this. And so that is what the emotion is right now, just awestruck at how awesome God is.
Well, before you started answering that, Nick Coster came on and asked pretty much the same thing. The walk is coming to an end, sweet or bittersweet? A little of both. How about you, Lisa? And I mean, I really can't follow that up, but I think for me, it's such a different experience than it is for you. And it is such an honor to be able to be on this journey with you and to watch God just move in you with every step, and just seeing the struggles that you're dealing with on the walk, and how God just moves in that is so cool from this end. Um, Sweet or bittersweet? Both. Yeah, definitely both. I was telling Pastor this morning that today was the first day in 2 weeks that I woke up before the alarm, just ready to see him reach Gary. But what's been really neat for me is to see the response from social media. People who have never heard of Ascension, of Pastor Brian, of Emmanuel, are just being so moved by the devotions that have been put out each day. And to hear people saying, this is exactly what I needed to hear, thank you so much, has just been, it's been really cool to see God moving in that way, in something that wasn't really a part of the initial goal. Yeah, so that's been cool.
Sweet or bittersweet?
Sweet.
As that pineapple popcorn, right?
Yeah, that's that good. That's that good popcorn. That popcorn in town.
Nick says, amazing job. And let's see. Leslie says, Pastor, it has been a joy and a blessing to have walked with you to get attention for Ascension each year.
Thank you. Thank you. It has been a joy and a blessing to have all of you a part of the journey.
So I guess as we wait for any more questions,
And I want to do a
go
shout
ahead.
out and put somebody on blast. I mean, and those become the challenges. I mean, even in the journey, Leslie has been willing to reach out to all of our, start developing a donor base and contact people, and just people who have sown this seed so that we can let them know what they have meant to this ministry. And so just watching God move in that way, just as God continues to build his kingdom, and just watching people being willing to give of themselves. I was thinking about, as we were asking questions, even Stephanie Dillard willing to pray with people as they submit prayer requests. Just watching God move and use people according to their gifts and talents. Watching people, I mean, yesterday, watching folks show up to make the 2,500 become 5,000. Now I don't know, I have to wait on his timing with the Skippy, but we understand that in all of this, God is working, and even watching how those kind of things happen. But those that is what I am reflecting on in this journey. Just watching God show you how immature you were, or the growth areas that needed to take place, and that when you are just willing to make yourself available, look at what happens. Sure, we're out to get attention for Ascension and help raise funds for uh, the school so that it can continue to grow and flourish. Um, but God is doing something, and it is very clear, something bigger than the walk, than walking for attention to Ascension. You begin to hear and see, and as you were sharing, Lisa, about even the social media, the community that God is building, and the opportunities to sow seeds in areas that we did not think possible. And so just every little step helps.
Just be obedient to what he's asking us to do.
Yep.
Let him do it.
Yeah.
We'll do the rest.
Man.
Oh yeah, I think I was gonna get on and say for one last time today that we are gathering at Ascension today to walk the last mile with Pastor Brian. Those who would like to walk with us to the corner of 49th and Broadway, we're meeting at Ascension at 12:30. The address you can find on walk312.com. At this point, please come. I think all the food is already purchased and everything, so you don't need to worry about registering. Just come and walk with us and celebrate with us. And I'm hoping to be able to come myself. I'm trying to work it out. So yeah, we will be at Ascension walking with Pastor Brian the last 0.7 miles technically. So it's 0.7 miles to the corner of 49th and Broadway, 0.7 miles back. So it's about an hour, not an hour, a mile and a half. You certainly do not need to walk that. You can walk as far up the street as you would like, or just hang out at Ascension and cheer him in. So please come on out. We'd love to have you.
Well, this is day 12. I hope you get to spend some time with Luke 17:10, and we will talk to you at 11.
I am the walking pastor. I'm back. 312 more miles. Let's go. Last year, we walked from Gary, Indiana to Cleveland, Ohio. This year, we're reversing the route. The goal is the same, $3,120,000, one step at a time. Cleveland is where my ministry journey began. Gary is the home of Ascension Lutheran Christian School, whose scholars we are walking to support. Last year, we asked and you responded. Because of your generosity, we were able to fund academic support, and we have seen test scores rise. We were also able to address much needed building repairs. Seeing where God took us last year, the journey for these scholars continues this year. We walk Monday, April 17th at 5 a.m. Follow us live at 8, 11, and 3. At 3:12 every day, we will gather for prayer. At walk312.com, you will be able to not only follow the journey, you will be able to donate and purchase your walking gear. All proceeds go to support the scholars at Ascension Lutheran Christian School. Let's go.